After World War II, the Commonwealth was restored pending complete independence. With the independence from the United States came the establishment of the Third Republic of the Philippines. In April 1946, elections were held. On July 4, 1946, Philippine independence was proclaimed and Manuel Rojas became the first president of the republic. It was a historic moment for the Philippines. It was the day when the Philippine flag is raised by Manuel Rojas and the lowering of the American flag by Ambassador Macnut to the accompaniment of the national anthems of the two nations. Still, after the historic moment, there are Filipinos who suffered from the war damage in World War II. In order to rehabilitate the Filipinos, U.S. Senator Millard A. Tydings sponsored the Philippine Rehabilitation Act. It appropriated $622 million to be paid to the Filipinos who suffered. In exchange of the U.S. aid to rehabilitate the Philippines, the United States gave one condition: that the Philippines grant priority rights to the Americans, equal rights with the Filipino citizen to develop and exploit natural resources of the Philippines and to operate public utilities in the country. The Filipinos had no choice but to amend the Constitution to grant priority rights to the American citizens in exchange for U.S. economic aid. The priority rights was ratified on March 11, 1947. The Rojas administration, the first president of the Third Republic and the last president of the Commonwealth, May 28, 1946 to April 15, 1948. President Manuel Rojas, a political leader and president of the Independent Republic of the Philippines, in his first State of the Nation address, detailed the challenges the country was facing in the aftermath of war. A government without financial means to support even its basic functions, scarcity in the commodities, especially of foods, hyperinflation, the tragic destruction of a productive economy, and a still ongoing rehabilitation among the different sectors of the society. In an effort to solve the massive socio-economic problems of the period, President Rojas reorganized the government and proposed a wide-sweeping legislative program. Among the undertakings of the Third Republic's initial year were the establishment of the Rehabilitation Finance Corporation, which would be reorganized in 1958 as the Development Bank of the Philippines, the creation of the Department of Foreign Affairs, and the organization of the Foreign Service through Executive Order No. 18, the GI Bill of Rights for Filipino veterans, and the revision of taxation laws to increase government revenue. During the Rojas administration, the Philippines established diplomatic ties with the foreign countries and gained membership to the international entities such as the United Nations General Assembly, the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization or the UNESCO, the World Health Organization, and the International Labour Organization. On April 15, 1948, following a speech before an audience of assembled airmen at Clark Field Air Base, President Rojas died of a heart attack. Vice President Elpidio Quirino assumed the presidency on April 17, 1948.
The Quirino administration, second president of the Third Republic of the Philippines, April 17, 1948 to December 30, 1953. President Elpidio Quirino, a political leader and the second president of the Independent Republic of the Philippines. His goal as chief executive, as stated in his first State of the Nation address, revolved around strengthening the people's confidence in the government and the restoration of peace. In order to achieve this, the chief executive traveled around the country to inspect firsthand the condition of the nation. He was the president best known for the Filipino First policy. The Quirino administration reached out to the leaders and members of Hukbo ng Bayan Laban sa Hapon o Hukbalahap and the Pambansang Kaisahan ng mga Magbubukid o PKM to negotiate peace and put an end to the insurgency. In 1948, through Proclamation No. 76, The government granted amnesty to the insurgents that surrendered arms. The negotiation failed to persuade Hukbalahap leader Luis Tarok and other rebel leaders, as they conceded to register but never disarm. From 1950 to 1953, Secretary of National Defense Ramon Magsaysay and President Quirino exerted efforts in reforming the nation's armed forces and promoting welfare of citizens in the rural areas through the Economic Development Course, or EDCOR, and Land Settlement and Development Corporation, or LASEDECO. This resulted in a considerable improvement to the country's insurgency problem. There were over 25,000 armed communists in early 1950, two-thirds of which had either been captured, killed, or had voluntarily surrendered. An estimated 60,000 firearms were surrendered or captured. The Quirino administration came to a close in the presidential elections of 1953. It was a battle between incumbent Liberal Party of President Elpidio Quirino against the charismatic Nacionalista candidate Ramon Magsaysay. It was a landslide victory for Ramon Magsaysay, who gained 2,912,992 votes, or 68.9% of the electorate.
The Magsaysay administration, third President of the Third Republic of the Philippines, March 30, 1953 to March 17, 1957. To help the rural masses was the focal point of the populist administration of President Ramon Magsaysay. President Magsaysay insisted in meeting and communicating with his people. In his first executive order, he established the Presidential Complaint and Action Commission, which investigated various citizen complaints and recommended remedial action through different government agencies. The commission served to boost the nation's confidence with its government. It was seen as a fulfillment of President Magsaysay's promise, stated in his inaugural address, to become a president for the people. The principles of the Magsaysay administration were codified in the Magsaysay Credo that became the theme of leadership and public service. Among the accomplishments of Magsaysay administration were Social Security Law of 1954, a Republic Act No. 1161. In an effort to solve the problem of communism and insurgency, President Magsaysay sought to protect the farmer through creation of laws such as Agricultural Tenancy Act of Philippines, or Republic Act No. 1199, the Land Reform Act of 1955 to Republic Act No. 1400, the formation of the Court of Agrarian Relations through Republic Act No. 1267, and the National Resettlement and Rehabilitation Administration, or NARA, through Republic Act No. 1160. The administration achieved victory over insurgents with the surrender of Huk leader Luis Tarok in 1954. He was popularly known to be the idol of the masses, champion of democracy and freedom fighter. On March 17, 1957, President Magsaysay and 25 other passengers of the presidential plane Mount Pinatubo perished in a crash at Mount Manungal. Vice President Carlos P. Garcia succeeded to the presidency on March 18, 1957.
The Carlos Garcia administration, the fourth President of the Third Republic, March 18, 1957 to December 30, 1961. President Garcia ran for the presidential elections of 1957. It was the first time in electoral history where there were four serious contenders to the presidency, namely Jose Yulo, Claro M. Recto, Manuel Manahan, and President Garcia. The incumbent president won the elections with 41.3% of the electorate. It was the first time that a president was elected by the plurality of candidates instead of the majority vote. It was also the first time where the elected president and the vice president did not come from the same political party. President Garcia was a nationalist and Vice President Diosdado Macapagal a liberal. The Garcia administration was famous for the austerity program and policy. It promoted the Filipino First policy, whose focal point was to regain economic independence. a national effort by the Filipinos to obtain major and dominant participation in their economy. The administration campaigned for the citizens' support in patronizing Filipino products and services, implemented import and currency controls favorable for the Filipino industries. In connection with the government's goal of self-sufficiency was the austerity program, which President Garcia described in his first State of the Nation address: more work, more thrift, more productive investment, and more efficiency, that aimed to mobilize a national savings. The Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, the Republic Act No. 301, aimed to prevent corruption and promote honesty and public trust. Another achievement of the Garcia administration was the Bolan-Serrano Agreement of 1959, which shortened the term of lease of the U.S. military bases in the country from previous 99 to 25 years. President Garcia lost to Vice President Diosdado Macapagal in presidential race of 1960.
The Macapagal administration, 5th President of the Third Republic of the Philippines, December 30, 1961 to December 30, 1965. President Diosdado Macapagal, a poet, lawyer, diplomat, statesman, economist, and intellectual, was born to poverty but rose due to intelligence and brilliance. During his inaugural address on December 30, 1961, he emphasized the responsibilities and goals to be attained in the new era that was the Macapagal administration. He reiterated his resolve to eradicate corruption and assure the public that honesty would prevail in his presidency. President Macapagal aimed at self-sufficiency and the promotion of every citizen's welfare through the partnership of the government and private sector, and to alleviate poverty by providing solutions for unemployment. The laws passed during the Macapagal administration were Republic Act No. 3844, or the Agricultural Land Reform Code, an act that established the Land Bank of the Philippines; Republic Act No. 3466, which established the Emergency Employment Administration; Republic Act No. 3518, which established the Philippine Veterans Bank; Republic Act No. 3470, which established the National Cottage Industries Development Authority, or NACIDA, to organize, revive, and promote the establishment of local cottage industries; and Republic Act No. 4156, which established the Philippine National Railways, or PNR, to operate the national railroad and tramways. The administration lifted foreign exchange controls as part of the DECONTROL program in an attempt to promote national economic stability and growth. In the field of foreign relations, the Philippines became a founding member of MAPFILINDO through the Manila Accord of 1963. The regional organization of Malay states strove for Asian solutions and aimed to solve national and regional problems through regional diplomacy. The Macapagal administration closed with the presidential elections of 1965. The poor boy from Lubao was defeated by the nationalista candidate Ferdinand E. Marcos. Marcos' administration, the sixth and the last president of the Third Republic of the Philippines and the first president of the Fourth Republic of the Philippines, from December 30, 1965 to December 30, 1973.